The only reason you're struggling is because you're addicted to struggle and allergic to success. Most entrepreneurs think their problem is mindset or trauma or the nervous system, but they're missing the key component, and that's why they stay stuck. Now, I've spent over $1 million and tested over 600 different processes to figure this out. And what I've discovered will literally change how you think about success forever. Picture this. You're driving 100 miles an hour, maybe 200 because you're a high achiever, overachiever. And you're going and your wheels start to wobble, but because you're such a high achiever, you ignore it. And the wheels fall off and explode, but you keep self-correcting. Now you're driving without wheels and your motor explodes, but you're still going 100 miles per hour thinking it's sustainable. Here's the thing. You're scared to stop because you think you'll lose everything. That was me. I put in almost $100,000 and literally 8 hours a day for a year on one program alone. It felt slow, so arduous. I was struggling with depression, porn addiction, and I couldn't lead my team effectively. No matter how often I tried to scale my business, I'd sabotage it. I always felt like there had to be a faster, more effective way. And then one night, everything changed. My wife was struggling with a gluten allergy, and I had tried this technique to help her, but it wasn't sticking. So in the middle of the night, I had this idea, literally like inspiration. And I believe it was from God because I'm not smart enough to come up with this kind of stuff on my own. Now, the revelation was that the only reason any human being struggles with anything is actually because some part of their body's addicted to the symptoms and allergic to what they want. And it's in every cell of their body, not the mind. Think about it. When you were a kid, when did you get the most attention? Was it when things were smooth and peaceful? Or was it when there was drama, crisis, problems that needed solving? Now, most high performers were the family problem solvers. I felt responsible for my parents' 7 divorces. And I learned that chaos meant that I was needed. Crisis meant that I mattered. Your nervous system wired a simple equation. I am valuable when there are problems to solve. Or I am worthy when I'm struggling through something difficult. Now, here's an example. Sarah Petty came to me with a 30-year Diet Coke addiction. We eliminated it in one session. But here's what's fascinating. She didn't really want to give it up, and hence the addiction. Some part of her at a cellular level, that memory that was stored in her body, linked drinking Diet Coke, it tasted sweet, to being able to spend time with her mom and feeling loved as they would cook and bake and try all sorts of goodies. Her brain, and not just her brain, but her entire physiology was connected to this belief that if she gives up Diet Coke or this sweetness, then she'll lose that connection with her mom. And that's how everything works. It's crazy, but if you're struggling with something, it's not that you're addicted to that thing. You see, she wasn't really addicted to the Diet Coke. Her body was addicted to this sensation that she thought that the only way she could get love was by consuming something sweet. So no matter what you're struggling with, it's due to a fight-flight response in your body, and you can literally change it in minutes. Now, here's the counterintuitive truth. It's not about mindset. In fact, it's not even about your nervous system. It doesn't matter about your past traumas. The only thing that matters is getting your body out of the addiction allergy response. Every cell in your body has memory. When organ transplant recipients get a new heart, they actually develop the donor's food cravings, personality traits, even memories, which sounds kind of nutso, but it happens. And that's called cellular consciousness. Now, here's the thing. If your cells remember struggle as safety, then success triggers a physiological alarm system. Here's the most dramatic example of this. I had a client named Paul. He had major back pain. We were at an event and he was scheduled for surgery. He didn't know if he could get on the plane to go back home. It hurt so bad. After aligning, he was able to change so many things because he didn't realize that his back pain was actually connected to money issues. We did this alignment, and within 1 week, he created an additional $64,000 outside his normal income. Not to mention, his back pain disappeared, he was able to get on the flight, and he felt better than ever. No surgery needed. His body was creating physical pain to keep him away from financial success. Now you've built your entire identity around being the person who can handle anything. The one who thrives under pressure, the one who turns chaos into gold. But what happens when there's no chaos? You create it. Because chaos feels comfortable. I did this for years. Every time my business hit stability, I'd unconsciously sabotage it. Fire performing team members, change working strategies, create complexity where simplicity existed. I told myself I was optimizing, but the truth, I was terrified of who I'd be if I wasn't constantly solving problems. This is what I see in most high achievers. They'll dedicate everything to growing their business and sacrifice their relationships. Or they hide behind their family once they hit success and can't balance both. They feel like they have to sacrifice one for the other. They're burnt out, worried about losing what they've gained, scared that if they don't keep going 100 miles an hour, they'll lose it all. The deepest fear underneath it all, if I'm not struggling, am I still valuable? You don't settle. You get what you settle for. And you settle for what your body is wired for, where it doesn't feel like a choice. See, mindset work is like using flint to start a fire. The cellular alignment technique, which aligns you and gets you out of the fight-flight responses, is a freaking flamethrower. Now, the whole purpose is to find resistance in your body and retrain it within seconds, so your entire physiology is on board. Now, there are two forms of resistance. One that pushes, which is an allergic response, usually towards the thing that's ideal. And two, one that pulls, or is what's called an addiction, usually something that's non-ideal. Through a process of tapping, breathing, smiling, pinpointing triggers, which I know people think is weird, however, it works. And it reprograms your entire physiology. And so instead of getting stuck, you can make choices consciously and change your entire identity. Now, when you're in alignment, you upgrade your wheels. And not just that, but the entire vehicle. You upgrade your ability to handle stress without burning out or destroying what's important to you. Now, for me personally, the same pattern from when I was 12 and my parents divorced, where I felt like it was all my fault, it affected my ability to grow a 6- and then 7-figure business because I didn't feel good enough. And that guilt cycle was why I was addicted to porn. It had nothing to do with porn itself. Once I understood how the body worked, I realized it wasn't an identity problem. It was actually a choice. All the symptoms, whether financial or emotional, could literally be changed within minutes. It didn't have to take years of struggle and suffering. You see, this is the shift. Struggle is not an identity, it's a pattern. And patterns can change within minutes. I want to demolish the biggest lie about struggle, that it's something that happens to you, that you can't do anything about it, that it's who you are. But struggle is actually a choice. A physiological choice your body is making based on old programming. When you're driving without wheels at 100 miles per hour, the solution isn't to go faster. It's to stop, upgrade your vehicle, and then accelerate from alignment. You can have sustainable success that actually increases over time. You can create massive impact without sacrificing your peace. And you can build wealth without destroying your relationships. Because when your whole body is in full choice, when every cell supports your vision instead of fighting it, everything becomes not only possible, but natural. You stop needing to earn your peace. You stop having to justify your joy. You stop requiring struggle to feel worthy. You start living from abundance instead of scarcity, from alignment instead of resistance, from choice instead of compulsion. And if you recognize yourself in this struggle addiction, if you've been driving without wheels thinking it's sustainable, if your body's been rejecting the very success you're working toward, you're not broken. Your body has been trying to protect you based on programming that no longer serves you. But now you know the truth. It's not the mindset, it's not the trauma, it's cellular programming, and it can change within minutes. If you're ready to experience a change in your life like this, I'd love for you to watch this video next. And if you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button and join me on this movement as we discover what's possible when we take the leap and go all in on becoming who we know we're meant to be. Until next time, be unstoppable.